Hi, welcome to Seaside Quilting Tutorials. Now we're just at the end of our 2023 Seaside Quilt Along. We've already done 11 of the blocks. Now some of you might not have started yet, and that's fine. Many of us don't get a chance to sew this time of the year. There's gardening, there's vacations, children coming out of school, all that kind of stuff happening, graduations. And it's a busy time of the year. So if you didn't start, I really hope that you'll give this quilt a try. It's a fun quilt. I love the sashing on it. I know I've told you every week that I love it. It's one of my favorite patterns, and I'm probably going to eventually redo it a couple of times with some different blocks. So tomorrow you'll get block 12, and then either tomorrow afternoon or Saturday morning I'll have a bonus additional block that will be coming out in case there was one that was too difficult, you didn't like the block, whatever the reason. There'll be an additional bonus block for you to fill in anywhere that you would like to fill it in, or just to give it a go if you're a new quilter. So this is the quilt that we've been working on. It's a fun, I like it because of the sashing, the way that you don't have to meet up your seams for the sashing. It makes it easier to go together. Once again, I really believe that this would be a great sampler quilt, and I'm going to do that with scraps coming up. Probably not till this winter when I have a little bit more time, or maybe have a little bit more time. I never can tell. I'm always planning to have more time, and it never really works out. So we'll see what happens. But and this is one that you could work on a little at a time, and that's probably what will end up happening. I've already done the first half of the teals, and I need to catch up on the teals, which may or may not happen this month. It might not happen until things calm down after the 4th of July. But this was our first half with the teals. And I really, really love how the teals are coming out. These were some of my favorite colors for the quilt. I had, the day that I was choosing fabrics, I had fabrics all over my cutting table, and I was taking pictures and changing things out and taking more pictures until this one really popped at me, and the blues that I've been working on popped at me. So today what we're doing is, I had mentioned to you about how you did not have to have your quilt blocks in the exact order that I put them in. I put them in an order so that it was starting from the easier blocks. Not that, I think there were only 2 blocks that were a little more challenging in this quilt. I think, honestly, I think the rest of them are fairly easy blocks. But I did want there to be a little bit of a challenge. I didn't want everything to be too easy, because I like to, extend myself a little bit. And I hope that you do too. So even if you're finding them difficult, I hope you do try them, because they are fun blocks. They're a little different from our normal blocks that we did last year, and for the most part this year. So today what we're doing is we're going to move our blocks around. I'm going to show you how you can keep them lined up the same, but change out blocks where you might like them. Just because I put them in an order, you may not like them in that order. You may want one of the bottom blocks to be at the top or in the middle or whatever. And that's easily done, just as well as it will be very easy to take a sub block, the bonus block, and exchange it. So let me adjust my camera so that you can see my table a little bit better. Okay. So let me grab that teal one again, because the teal got put together and is getting put together in the order of the quilt design. Let me see. Oh, accidentally, I put one of my blocks in the wrong place. Can you imagine that? So, your first block would have been over here. So you can see I've already rearranged them by mistake, which is perfectly fine. More you're going to be looking at your sashing, what directions your sashing went in. And that's what basically must have happened as I was putting this together. This would have been your second block. This one would have been your second block. I don't know if any of you noticed that when I took the picture of it and posted it, but this was actually the first block, which would have been turned in the direction of this one. And you'll see a little bit better as I'm moving them around. But this was mostly put together in the order that I had done it in the pattern. Isn't that funny? And you know, sometimes we don't see things right away that we do until either we take pictures of them or we go back and take a look at it and go, I didn't realize I did that. So in looking at this, these are the last blocks that I did. I'm gonna have to take a look at this for just a moment. This would be the third row. This was the last block of that third row, which this would have gone like this. And this is block 10, which would go like this. And okay, and this one goes actually down here. And let me see how that's supposed to go. I'm looking at all of this upside down, so is that the right one? Yes, okay. And we'll figure out where you go. And this one would have gone in this row, the second row, like so. And this one was down here, going like this. And I'm not going to be able to spread them all around my table because my table's not wide enough. Imagine that. It's long, but it's not wide. But the main purpose of this is that I just want you to be able to see that we can twist our blocks around any way that we would like them. This was our first block. And this one I have all of the blocks except for block 12 done, which after I do this, I will be going to that block and doing the tutorial for that one. This one is the second row. This one is the top row at the end. And this one goes like this. So basically, any of these blocks, like I said, can be all twisted around. As soon as I get them into the order that they would actually go into, I'll give you a little preview of how we can change them. So the whole purpose of this anyways was just so that you can see this is the layout. So I'm gonna do it more down here, just because I have a little more room. Oh yes, you go over here. So this is kind of the order that they go in. We're missing block 12, of course. I'm just gonna scoot these over so that you can see them a little bit better. Okay, and this is the way that they would be arranged if we follow our design. Okay, now maybe I don't want this block up here. Maybe I would like it to go down right here. And as you can see, this block is turned in this direction if you were to place it right here on the corner. And you can tell what direction they would go in by looking at this. So say I would rather have this one up here, and this one would have gone like this. So I can just take this block and bring it up here and put this one down here. And maybe I don't want this block to be up here. Maybe I would rather have it go here. And I'll just take a look at the direction of my sashing. And this one's supposed to turn like this. And I can put it here. And then I can put this one up here. But because of the way the sashing is done, the sashing the blocks can be turned and turned and turned. Let's say I change my mind and I would like this block to go here. So the sashing's going like this. I can just turn this one like so and put it there. And then I would take this one and I would turn it like so and put it here. But I can mix and match my blocks any way that I would like them to go. And like I said, the nice part is that we don't have to matchy our seams up, meaning quite often when sashing is done, you would need to match up these seams. And that can be difficult. So let me bring that so that you can see it in the camera, hopefully. So often, this is how our seams would match up for sashing, which is very, 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 very frustrating to do, because if you get one that the seams don't match up entirely exactly, then the next one you need to match it up so it looks like one straight line. And that can be frustrating beyond belief. So I like the fact that when I put my sashings together, they don't need to match up any seams. These can just be pinned or clipped together, do my 1/4 inch seam, and then those pieces are together. So no matter what order you decide to put these in. Now I do have a design wall, but where I placed it, I have to get on a footstool in order to see what I'm doing. And to try to do that when you're on camera and try to line everything up, it gets frustrating. And so I'm going to be moving that later this month, so that in the future when I'm doing things, I can put them up on the design wall so that you can see them. But for now, I just wanted you to see that if you didn't like the, you know, the direction, or, you know, the placement rather of where the blocks are going, but you are making the quilt, you can change them at will. And I do recommend to keep the sashings going in the direction. So basically just saying that, you know, I would keep whatever piece goes on here. But this is up to you. This is your quilt. You can change this however you want. You can put them, you can twist them and turn them in any direction that you want. You can put them in any order that you want. They don't have to be put together exactly like this. It's kind of like a puzzle, except that you're the one putting it together. It doesn't have to be exact like a puzzle. So play with them, have fun with them, put them in whatever order you would like them to be in. And then I really hope that you'll come over to Seaside Quilting on Facebook, and that you'll post your quilt for us so that we can see how yours turned out. And don't worry if it's a few months from now, that's fine. Last year when we did this, some people didn't get theirs completed until this year. I was one of them. I had all my blocks done except for one, and I completed that this year, and then I finally put them all together. And I still have yet to quilt it and bind it, because I just have all these ongoing projects. And I don't like to have UFOs. I only have a couple, thank goodness. I would hate to have too many. It would be, that bothers me. I don't like to have UFOs. I will get to it eventually. I've been taking a master feathering class on the long arm. So that's kind of taken up a little bit of my extra time that I normally would have to complete a project. So don't worry. Don't feel like, you know, when you get yours done, that I don't really need to share it. It's inspiring to the rest of us to see the colors that you chose, to see what order you put yours in. And it's fun because we all have different likes and dislikes. So it's nice to see how someone else chose their fabrics. Just recently in our group, one of our members took some fabric that I'll tell you straight up, I would never ever choose this fabric to purchase it. It's just me. I did not like the fabric. I still pretty much don't like the fabric. But she put it together, she cut it up. It's a very, very busy fabric. And she cut it up and she pieced it with some white, and it's just astounding. And really kind of tempted me towards that fabric, though I'll stay away from it because I know I won't get to that exact project. But it did make me think that I need to think a little more out of the box when I'm choosing fabrics. And I have some fabrics around that came in with stockpiles that I purchased from quilt stores that were closing, and there were stacks that went together, and you didn't get to choose which ones you purchased. You had to buy the lot of it. And so in there, most of the fabrics I liked, but there were 2 or 3 that I was a little skeptical about, and I haven't gotten rid of them. There is some appeal towards them, but I just didn't know what to do with them because they're very, very busy fabrics, and I wasn't sure how I was going to cut a fabric up like that and use it. But it amazes me to see what other people do. So please come on over to Seaside Quilting on Facebook and share with us. I would love to see that. So for right now, I need to get busy. I need to go set up for the next tutorial, which will be block 12 for tomorrow morning. So until next time, I wish you happy sewing.